So we're stimulating the peripheral vision, moving our fingers. Alternating sunning and palming is very good if you've developed cataracts, macular degeneration. It's very good if you have developed glaucoma. We talked about breathing, looking far away, blinking, yawning, stretching, laughing, crying. With this technique, palming, work with the back of the eye in reversing glaucoma. Okay, so glaucoma is one of those symptoms that are beyond a refractive error. So with myopia, astigmatism, presbyopia and hyperopia, the only problem there is that there is too much tension in the muscles in the eyes, and as you relax them, the eyes have the capacity to focus again at different distances. And so, so they're corrected. So actually, myopia, astigmatism, presbyopia, and hyperopia are quite easy to solve if you have a capacity to relax, yes? With glaucoma, the cause of glaucoma is generally too much intraocular pressure, and that means that the aqueous humor in your eyes is being produced faster than it's being evacuated, yes? So we need to regulate this so that the intraocular pressure is not damaging the optic nerve at the back of the eye, yeah? So there's two things, that's what happens at the back of the eye with the optic nerve, and there is what happens in the front of the eye with the aqueous humor and the intraocular pressure. So the first thing we want to do is pay attention at the root cause, yeah? So what can we do to regulate the intraocular pressure? We will want to regulate the evacuation, help the evacuation. How do we do this? So palming, if you have glaucoma, I would advise for you to do it in short periods of 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, not more, because otherwise the heat in the eye, you know that with heat liquids become bigger, take more space, so that's actually not something we want to do. What we want to do is to help evacuate the intraocular, the aqueous humor faster. So you will want to do practices that alternate, that contrast with light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. For example, if there's another of the star practices in natural vision improvement, which is sunning, with your eyes closed, you look towards the sun and you could move your fingers in front of your closed eyes. This practice is very, very good if you have glaucoma, because as the iris is opening and closing, it's pumping the aqueous humor outside of the eye. So we want relaxation to regulate it, but we also want this contrast to pump the aqueous humor. So that would be the first thing, to regulate the intraocular pressure. We can do with our puppet, we can do it also with our fingers, the symbol of the infinite, or an 8 that is horizontal instead of vertical. And we're going to follow this 8 movement with both of our eyes, yeah? Now it's important that we cross going up when we do this movement, and we're looking at it with both of our eyes. We can do the 8 wider or smaller. We can do it further away. We can do it nearer. We can do it slowly. And we can do it faster. So you can play with all of these possibilities. We can do it just with our eyes, or we can do it with our eyes and our head. Because our head, the muscles also want to be free. And also when we're interested about something, first goes the eyes, then goes the head, and then goes the rest of the body. So we can also do this if we're not sitting like I am, because I have to teach the class. But if you can move around the house or your room, you can also like stand up and go down, yeah? And then you're moving all your body, and it's helping also coordinate your eyes and your head, your eyes and your body. So it's very, very good, yeah? So we can do these 8 a little bit more, we can do them slower too, and then you can pay attention to the different details of the eye puppet and how you see them, yeah? And this is another exercise that you can do. Another exercise that helps coordinate, oh, by the way, this is extremely good for astigmatism, this is extremely good against glaucoma, retinitis pigmentosa, and macular degeneration, and for all the refractive error, farsightedness, nearsightedness, astigmatism, needing reading glasses. These exercises are very good for all of these. And when you've done this a few times, well, we can do palming again. Close your eyes, pay attention at the sensations in your eyes. You can shake your hands and rub them. Make the spoon-like position, cross your fingers, put the fingers on your forehead and the palms over your eyes. Unbutton your pants to make yourself comfortable, have good breathing, put your elbows on the table so that you don't have to hold your hand, your head. Make sure you breathe normally. And feel and observe the sensations in your eyes as you feel them more and more relaxed. And you can again imagine black cats, panthers, horses, black velvet dresses or curtains or magician's hats or capes, or the number 8 ball in a pool game, or the ink that's pouring on your closed eyelids. And as you do this, you notice that your eyes are more and more relaxed. And you can do the palming as long as you want. At home, you only set a timer between 5 to 7 minutes if you have glaucoma, high intraocular pressure. Otherwise, you can do the palming as long as you want. And whenever you feel that the experience is complete, here we're going to keep it short. Well, you take your position straight, you keep your eyes closed, you remove your hands slowly from your closed eyelids. You pay attention to the colors that you see in your closed eyelids. Could be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And when the color doesn't change, you stretch, you sigh, you moan, you yawn. Make sure that you stretch like a cat so that not only your eyes, but the rest of your upper body is as relaxed as possible to make it easier for whatever sensation of little tension you may feel to go away, and to have not just your eyes, but the rest of your body be used to the relaxation in your eyes so that you can focus better and better. And we're going to do the butterfly again. Yeah. So we blink lightly and fast and softly, easily, until our eyes get used to light again, and we look again around, and we see maybe the vision field is wider, or see more light, or more colors, more brighter, or more shades, or more contrast. Or maybe we see void in the 3D, or perspectives, or movement. Maybe we see the small print, or the eye chart better, more lines, or the same lines but with more sharpness. What we could do for glaucoma, and actually sunning is one of the best and most important practices to regulate glaucoma. What happens? Well, with glaucoma, the reason why glaucoma develops most of the time is because there's an excess of aqueous humor in your eyes, one of the liquids in your eyes, and the pressure of that liquid is too much. That's what's called intraocular pressure. And this means that there's too much of this liquid that's being segregated, or that it's not being evacuated, it's not being released fast enough. So the sunning, because it makes that the iris opens and closes, the pupil opens and closes, actually this movement creates a pumping effect that helps the evacuation of the excess of aqueous humor. The thing is that the place where the aqueous humor leaves the eye, is evacuated, is very near where the iris is inserted. So if we are in the dark all the time and our iris is like the pupil is big and the iris is very near to where the aqueous humor is evacuated, it makes it more difficult for the liquid to go away. But when we're in the sun and the pupil is small and the iris is like more spread all over, the space for the aqueous humor to be evacuated is free. So being in the sun also helps for glaucoma. And if we do these sunning exercises, well, the liquid is actually pumped out, yeah? So, and if you do some palming after doing sunning, that's even better. I would advise, the reason why we started with palming is because relaxation is such an important key for vision improvement, but also once you do sunning, you want to do palming afterwards, yeah? So if you can do like 5 minutes of sunning and 5 minutes of palming, this is really, really a very good start. And you can actually use sunning and palming in combination. You can do palming before sunning, and then do sunning, and then do palming again. And then you do what a dear friend and colleague of ours, Natural Vision Improvement, Nathan Oxenfeld, calls sunning and palming sandwiches. Yeah, you could also do it the other way around. You start with sunning, you continue with palming, and you go with sunning. I actually like to finish with palming, but you can alternate sunning and palming. Yeah. And alternating sunning and palming is very good if you've developed cataracts, macular degeneration. It's very good if you have developed glaucoma or if you have high intraocular pressure. In the last lesson, we told you that if you have high intraocular pressure or glaucoma, you shouldn't practice palming more than 5 minutes at a time, 5-7 minutes. But if you have glaucoma and intraocular pressure that's high, the sandwiches of palming and sunning are very good, because with sunning, you're exposing your eyes to light, so your pupil is bigger. And with palming, you're exposing them, your pupil is smaller. And with palming, you're exposing them to darkness, so the pupil is bigger. And every time we do contrast of light and darkness, so with light, the pupil goes small, and with darkness, it goes big, and small and big, and small and big, and small and big. Every time we do that, on the one hand, the iris removes from the Schlemm channel that allows for the aqueous humor to be evacuated, so that makes it easier to have a balance of the intraocular pressure. But also when we do open, close, open, close, open, close, we're doing a pumping effect. So it removes the excess of intraocular pressure and the excess of aqueous humor, yeah? So you want to be doing sandwiches of palming and sunning if you've been having glaucoma problems, yeah? One that I love very much, and maybe you want to tell us about your experience also with sunning, is the inner kaleidoscope, yeah? So you close your eyes, you look into the sun. Of course, sunning is done with no glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses. And with your eyes closed towards the sun, you move your fingers in front of your closed eyes. And if you're really looking towards the sun outdoors, you're going to see lots of different shapes and colors changing. It looks like a kaleidoscope inside of your eyes. And so it's a very good stimulation. It's a very good contrast of light and darkness, like in the sandwiches. And it's also beautiful. So it's nice to look at, and it's stimulating, it's interesting. So we want to do it longer because it's not boring. And so it's a very good practice to do. But let's not stop at the letters, because eyesight is so much more than just seeing certain sizes of letters at a certain distance. With our eyes and our eyesight, we appreciate the quality of light, colors, textures, contrast, movement, perspective, the 3D space and the three-dimensionality of objects, the enjoyment of seeing, the connection through our eyes with our beloved people. Anyway, there's lots of dimensions to the experience of seeing. Also, how wide is our visual field? So I invite you to take notice of how you see at this moment, so that you can compare before and after the practices that we're going to do, okay? Okay, so I imagine that you have taken this time to look around and notice how well you see light, colors, textures, contrast, the 3D, how wide is your visual field, And we're going to see how this evolves during the session. So now that you have taken your points of reference, take your Post-it note, and you can put it on your forehead, and because it's a Post-it, it should stay on it. It should stick a little bit. And well, we can take a moment just to notice how we feel with the Post-it note. Of course, the Post-it note is blocking the central vision between the two pupils, and it leaves the peripheral vision free so we can see, yeah? And because our peripheral vision that is composed with rods, the central vision is more composed with cones that can see colors and details. The peripheral vision, composed more with rods are stimulated by light and by movement. That's why when there's little light, we nevertheless can sense the presence of enemies. Yeah, if they're wanting to eat us or something, we can see movement with our peripheral vision. Yeah, so we're stimulating the peripheral vision, moving our fingers. Yeah, for example. But you could also use the little umbrellas from cocktails, or yeah, you could use anything that has colors and that is fun for your eyes to notice. For example, I have this finger puppet. It's a little siren, mermaid that has hair, so it makes a very nice movement. So you can do something like this, and then you're stimulating your peripheral view. You see, it's very easy. And you can take anything that you like that has color that can be fun. I can also use a tennis ball, for example, and actually I could start just by passing it in front of my eyes. I can look forward and just let my rods notice, my peripheral view notice the ball, or I can follow it with my eyes. And then I'm also helping my brain hemispheres and my eyes to coordinate better. Because the brain has to guess when the ball is going to get to the other side when it's going in front of the part that is covered. Yeah? Okay, so we can do this a little while, and then we can also throw the ball from hand to hand. And maybe in the beginning when we do it, the ball tends to fall, and it's okay. We just laugh, we get it from the floor, and we continue. Laughing is very good for your eyesight. So any occasion that you have to laugh will help you also to relax your face muscles, your eye muscles, to get more oxygen, to be happier, and this is, a very good thing. Well, the ball fell. Yeah, it falls for me too. Nobody's perfect, and this is just an exercise, a game, a practice. But I have another one, just in case. I took two. Yeah, and I can keep doing this for a little while. Okay, so after you've done this for a little while, then you're going to take another Post-it, and you're going to put it on the top of the previous one. Yeah? And in this way, the part of the central visual field that is covered is larger. And we can do, again, the same thing. The central view is blocked, and the peripheral view is free. So we want to stimulate that peripheral view, and we can actually stimulate it even further. We can put our fingers further, yeah, in a way that our eyes can perceive, although it's not at the center. And we can do it also with other things, with other visual stimuli. And we have our eyes looking or actually seeing, perceiving with the peripheral view. When the peripheral view is stimulated, the eyes tend to relax a lot. So besides this practice being good to widen your visual field, it's also good to relax your eyes in general. Yeah, so it's very, very good. This practice is very good, for example, for people who have glaucoma, for people who have retinitis pigmentosa, for people who have macular degeneration, people who have high myopia, and in general for all the refractive errors like being nearsighted, farsighted, or needing reading glasses. This is very good as well. Okay. Yeah, so we can also move the ball again in different ways. We're also encouraging and increasing our eye, brain, hand, body coordination when we're doing this, And we can also throw the ball. And again, if it falls, it's okay. No problem. We just laugh and we pick it up, whoops, and we continue. And that's it. Okay, so we've been stimulating this peripheral view with a post-it note. And now we're going to make it even bigger, the part that's covered. We can put two post-it notes together like this, and we're going to cover even more the central visual field, so that we can stimulate the periphery even more. Yeah? So again, we do it with our fingers. We can pull them further away so that our brain considers more and more the information where it is, where it appears in the peripheral view. And you can put your arms as far as you can, and move your fingers with your arms completely stretched. You can do it in all the directions you want, and you can see how you perceive it with your peripheral view. You can also use again something else that may be colorful, that has movement, that your eyes may want to see, and put it further away in all the directions that you want. And again, stimulating the peripheral view is relaxing. It's relaxing for your eyes. Besides helping with the elements we said, it really is relaxing, so it helps eyesight in general. And you can again do the practice with the ball. You first pass it from hand to hand, and this also encourages the better coordination between your hand, your brain, your eyes. So it's also kind of brain gym, and you can also throw it from one hand to the other. And if you've noticed, even if you don't see the ball anymore because it's covered, you have improved your coordination in the previous practices. So it's likely that even with your central eyesight covered like this, you can still catch the ball. Yeah? And if you don't and it falls, well, you just laugh and pick it up and start again. And that's how you can stimulate your eyesight with this very simple exercise that you can do at home with your fingers, post-it notes, a finger puppet or something that's colorful, and a ball. Yeah? So now we've been stimulating our eyesight like this for a little while, and we're going to end this exercise. How are we going to do it? You're going to close your eyes first. Then you're going to remove all the post-it notes from your forehead. And you're going to take an instant to notice how your eyes feel. Do they feel the same or different than before? It is likely that you feel them more relaxed, that you also feel them activated. It's likely that you have some sensations in your eyes that are different from usual. And now we're going to do a little palming. So you're going to shake your hands. You're going to shake your hands. Or you can rub them to make them relaxed and warmer. And you're going to take them in a shape of a spoon so that you don't exert any pressure on your eyes. You're going to cross the fingers. It doesn't matter which ones go on the top of the others. And you're going to put the fingers on the forehead. And you're going to put the elbows on the table. The idea is that the palms are covering your eyes. That is why the technique is called palming. It's not called fingering. It's because you use the palm of your hands to cover your eyes. Yeah, there should be no pressure on your eyeballs. Of course, you have removed your eyeglasses and your contacts even before practicing the exercises, so you're not wearing any of those to do the palming. You make sure that you see as dark as possible with the hands on your closed eyes. And be aware also at the quality of your breathing. You don't want to be keeping yourself from breathing with the palming. It's important that you can breathe, deeply and freely, because breathing brings oxygen in, and the brain and the eyes are the part of the body that consume the most oxygen. We need oxygen for our brain to function, and we need oxygen to see. So breathing is very important. If you want, you can unbutton your pants, if you have button pants, to make sure that your breathing is as deep as possible, going into your abdomen. And you can imagine also the quality of the darkness that you're seeing. Besides the heat of your hands that's relaxing your muscles, seeing black darker with your eyes closed and your hands covering your eyes helps to calm the nervous system, to relax the nervous system. And when you are relaxed and you're mentally relaxed, you see better. You can also take this moment of seeing black, very black, to imagine black objects. You could imagine a black cat, or a black panther, or a black horse, or you could imagine the cape of a magician, or the hat, the black hat of the magician, or you can imagine ball number 8 of a pool game, or you can just imagine then that ink is pouring on your closed eyelids and it's making the black darker. Imagining is also a process that's involved in seeing, because 90% of seeing doesn't depend on the eyes, it depends on the brain. So when you train your memory and you train your imagination, that helps you to see better. We see inside our mind, inside our brain. So imagination and memory help you see better. So it's good that you imagine things also, so that you see them in your mind. Okay, and once we've been doing all of this, relaxing the eyes, breathing, and imagining, we're going to stop the palming. Yeah, at home you can of course do this as long as you want, all the practices, the exercise, and also the palming. But now we're going to stop because I want to teach you other things. So you keep your eyes closed and you're going to remove gently, you redress your posture, and you're going to remove gently your hands from in front of your closed eyes, your closed eyelids. And you're going to pay attention to the color that you see in your closed eyelids. It could be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. It depends on how much light there is in the room around you and what you did before doing the palming. And when the color you see in your closed eyelids doesn't change anymore, well, you can stretch, you can remove your hands completely from your eyes, and you can stretch and sigh and moan and yawn. Make any movement that is nice and comfortable for your upper part of your body, your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms to be more relaxed, because the muscles in the eyes are connected to the muscles in your head. So the more they are relaxed, the more your eyes can relax and the better you can see. Yeah? So, and after having done these movements, we are going to, I'll show you in a minute also how your eyes are connected to your neck. But for now, we're going to finish with this palming. For the moment, your eyes are still closed. So now we're going to do a sequence of butterfly wings. Yeah, that's you're going actually to blink very fast and very softly and very lightly, imagining that your eyelids and eyelashes are like butterflies' wings. And in this way, you blink very lightly and you get your eyes used to light again. And then you can see around you, you can look around you again and see what has changed. Saltwater baths. The technique is very easy. It's fun, it's 100% free, you can do at home, it's natural. How does it work? Well, as I said, for your eyes to improve your capacity of seeing and focus, the muscles need to be relaxed, but your eye muscles are connected to all the other muscles in your body through the fascias. So when there's tension in your head, in your neck, in your shoulders, in your back, that is having an impact to your eyes and your vision. So in order to relax your eyes so you can focus better, you need to also relax all of your body. So how do you do this? Well, if you have bathtub at home, and or if not, you can buy, well, nowadays we can buy like big plastic containers that we can sit and lay in there, and you're going to cover it like halfway with water, and the water should be as warm as it feels good for you. The warmer, the better. Why? Because the warmer the water, the more your body, your muscles will relax. This is very important. And the second element is that you should put 2 kilos or 4 pounds of salt in the water. And why is that? Well, because when there's more salt in the water of the bath than in your body, all the toxins of your body are going to go automatically by osmosis to the water in the bath. Yeah. So because the water is warm, your skin pores will open up, and then because there's more salt in the water than within you, the toxins will go outside your skin to the water. So that is going to help the work of your liver, of your lungs, of your kidneys. It's like an automatic self-dialysis, but it's very cheap and it works very efficiently. And if you do this once a week, this is going to improve your general health, and this will lay a very good foundation for all the vision improvement exercises that you will do. Another reason why the vision symptoms tend to stay is because when you put on glasses, now your eyes, in order to see clearly through the glasses, they need to keep being tense so that the focusing can work. Yeah. So if you want to reverse the process, you need to remove the glasses so that the eyes can start finding new adjustments that allow them to see without glasses. So this is one of the first steps that I'm going to invite you to take, and that is spending as much time as possible without your glasses. And of course, this is something that you need to do, in a sensible way. I don't want anyone to put themselves in danger or other people in danger. So if you need glasses to drive, please wear them. For the time being, there will be a time when you will be also able to drive without glasses. But if you're going to use dangerous instruments, wear them. If you're going to need to do something very precise, wear them. But as much time as you can spend without the glasses and be functional, the more space you leave for your eyes to see and find these new adjustments with everything else we'll be teaching you to improve little by little. Because focusing happens due to the participation of muscles, any muscle in your body can be trained. If you've been practicing yoga or learning how to play the guitar or the piano, what are you doing? You're training your muscles to function in different ways. You can also learn to see better by training your muscles to see better. And in order for the muscles to be able to move, they need to be relaxed. If you want to do this with me, you can do so. If you stand up and tense your body, tense your body as much as you can. If you try to move your body when your body is tense, can you move your arms if they're tense? No, you can't. So if you want to be able to move, you need to relax, and then your arms can move. With the eyes, it's the same. If you want your eyes to be able to focus, your muscles need to be relaxed. So this is the first thing that we need to do. The muscles in the eyes are connected through the fascias to all other chains of muscles in your body. So if there's tension in the rest of your body, there's going to be tension in your eyes. And if there's tension specifically in your neck and your shoulders and your jaws, there's going to be tension in your eyes. So from now on, I invite you to pay attention at making sure that you are as relaxed as possible. With glaucoma is caused by an excess of intraocular pressure. The aqueous humor is created too fast, not eliminated fast enough. And of course, we saw how sunning and palming and sandwiches with palming and sunning are really, really good if you have glaucoma. But in terms of the emotional experience, for people who have glaucoma, they're looking at life with too much pressure. That's what an excess of intraocular pressure is talking about, too much pressure. And usually this excess of pressure comes from a feeling of responsibility in a personal relationship, in the family, for example. Something's going on and you feel too responsible for it and you feel too much pressure about it. So it's important to release the pressure, to relax. Everything that we can do to relax physically, but also inside, will help with glaucoma. Yeah? So lower the stress levels and the pressure levels. Really don't take on your shoulders things that don't belong to you. You're carrying too much on your shoulders. You lose the periphery. You see in the center, but you lose the periphery. So in this case, you're going too fast. You need to slow down and smell the flowers. Look at the context. Look at what's going around. Not just focus on one thing, but be aware of the rest of the things happening in life that you can enjoy. Yeah? Don't become a unidimensional person that's only thinking about one thing. Yeah? Take a breath and enjoy the beauty of life. Yes? We're breathing all the time, but we're not necessarily breathing well. We're not necessarily breathing deeply in a way that brings all the oxygen that we could have. Sometimes we have tension when we breathe. So breathing, it's very useful, very important for eyesight. People who practice yoga do probably lots of exercises with breathing. Well, let me show you a couple of ideas for breathing. Okay, what we want to do is to make sure that your breathing becomes deep and that you have the impression that you're breathing with your belly. It's your lungs, of course, but when your lungs are actually very long and they go very deep down in your body. Okay, so we can breathe with counting, but what we're going to count as we breathe are not seconds. We're going to count heartbeats. We're going to count our own heartbeats. Why do we want to breathe according to our heartbeat? Well, first, because it's easy to track, easier than looking with our eyes open into some second thing. We don't need to have our eyes open to count our heartbeats. Second, because that allows us to put more attention in our body sensations and our body signals. And this is going to be very useful in our process of eyesight improvement, to be more aware of the state of our body and the signals from our body. Third, because our heartbeat is not going as fast or as slow at different moments. So we also have different needs at different moments. When we're relaxed, our heartbeat is slower, and we can also breathe slower and deeper. And when we're excited, then our breathing can also be at the same pace as our heartbeat. We can breathe a bit faster, but as we're breathing and we're relaxing, we'll notice that our heartbeat will slow down, and we'll be able to breathe deeper and deeper. Also, you may notice that as you inhale, your heartbeat is a little bit faster, and as you exhale, it's a little bit slower, and that is good for your breathing, that your exhalation is a bit longer. So there's several advantages to counting your heartbeats as you breathe. And the last of them, which is a very important one, is that when your breathing and your heartbeat are in the same rhythm, you generate coherence in your body. And when there is coherence in the rhythms of your body, your nervous system calms down and all your body functions better. Okay, so now that I've explained all the reasons why it's good to breathe with a count of your heartbeat, how could we do the breathing? We could, for example, start with 4 heartbeats inhaling and 2 heartbeats holding the breath, and then 4 heartbeats exhaling and 2 heartbeats holding the breath. For example, then you can go into 4 heartbeats inhaling, 4 holding, 4 exhaling, 4 holding. And you do this a few times, then you can go into 8 heartbeats inhaling, 4 holding, 8 heartbeats exhaling, 4 holding. And then you can go into 8 heartbeats inhaling, 8 heartbeats holding, 8 heartbeats exhaling, and 8 heartbeats holding. Okay, why do we hold the breath in between the inhale and the exhale? Because actually, when we hold the breath for a little bit, the oxygen goes much better into all the cells. So we're not going to practice this right now, but I give you these tips that you can practice later, and you can notice as you breathe this way how your whole body is a lot more relaxed, and that has advantages for your eyesight and your eyes. Now, another exercise, another practice that relaxes your eyes, we've mentioned it, but let's highlight it, is looking far away. This is so important. Looking far away is super crucial. We spend more and more time looking near, looking at books, looking at computers, looking at iPhones, at tablets, looking as far as the four walls of our home. We need to look further away. We need to be looking into the sky, into the clouds, into the treetops, into the stars, the moon. Because otherwise our muscles in our eyes are always tense. We need to relax them looking far away. So it's important that every day you find a moment where you can look far away. For example, you're in the car, you're in the traffic. Instead of getting all frustrated that it's stuck and it's not moving, well, put the window down and look outside as far as possible. And it'd be best if you can remove the glasses at that moment. And when the car starts moving again, you want maybe to put the glasses back on. But take moments to look far away without any glass in between your eyes and the things that you're seeing far away, because that helps them relax and that helps them train to focus also at other distances. So pay attention. Pay attention at how much time you spend the day looking near, and make sure that you look far away. And so if you do a lot of screen work, because, well, probably it would be a good idea to do less, for example, for things that are not compulsory. For if you're working a lot in your computer, maybe playing games in your computer is not the best idea when you want to chill out. Maybe you can do something where you look far away. But anyway, we also know that screens are here to stay, and the idea is not necessarily to live without screens. That's kind of hard nowadays. But you can make sure that every now and then you look beyond the screen, and at least you look the furthest points of the room. You put your computer in a way that you can look over it, and you can look far away, or you can look out the window. These are things that are helpful that we can combine with what is our habits in our daily life. Okay, let's see. So looking far away, super important. Another exercise that is actually a natural thing, but we need to put focus on, like we put focus on breathing, even though it's natural. That is blinking. Blinking is super important for good eyesight. And I would like to make an experiment, and I would need my phone, or a phone that has a something that I can use a timer. So I'm going to invite you to do this little experience and notice what happens with this experience. Shall I do 15 seconds or 30 seconds? Let's see. Let's try 30 seconds. I think it's short enough and long enough. So I'm going to put a timer for 30 seconds. And the idea is that for 30 seconds, you do not blink. Do your best to not blink for 30 seconds and see how you feel. See what happens. See how your eyes feel. Without the glasses, without contacts. It may be hard, but do your best to blink as little as possible. You know, sometimes in France they have this game where they hold each other's chin and they look into each other, and the one that blinks first loses. Okay, so it's kind of like this, but we're not holding the chins. Okay, so we're going to start. Okay, 1, 2, 3, do not blink. And you're going to see it's kind of hard. I'm probably not going to be the winner, but I'll do my best to not blink. Oh my God, my eyes are itching, they're dry, it's uncomfortable. Oh, I lost 13 seconds left. Okay, try not to blink, try not to blink, try not to blink, try not to blink. Okay, I lost again, 3 more seconds. Try not to blink, try not to blink. Okay, Now it's over. I'd like to read how do your eyes feel when you don't blink. And if you're like me, well, my eyes were itching, they were tense, they were dry, and it was very uncomfortable. That's why I couldn't go beyond a number of more seconds, and I was blinking again. But you can write how your eyes felt when you were not blinking. Okay, dry and horrible. Yes, they do feel dry and horrible. Okay. Anyone else? Well, I know sometimes there's a little bit delay between my questions and the answers. Feeling a bit sore. Okay, well, I guess other comments will be arriving. But indeed, when we don't blink, it actually creates a strain in our eyes. Burning and dry, itchy and uncomfortable. The eye started to burn. I felt like President Biden. Okay. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but okay. I blinked 6 times. Okay. I started to burn a little, body became tense. Exactly. So blink twice, tense. Okay. They feel gritty. Okay. So when you do not blink, usually it creates discomfort in the eyes. It participates in generating tension in the eyes. So Diana, you find it easy not to blink, and you don't find it, if you don't have discomfort when you're not blinking, probably you're too used to having tension in your eyes. And we now need to create habits of relaxation for your eyes. Yeah. So now we're going to do the opposite. Okay. Okay, now it made me wonder whether we blink when we sleep. Well, usually with sleep, you have your eyes closed, and that should help you have moist eyes. You have very dry eyes and often have to top with drops. Okay, so if you practice blinking, the moist in your eyes will improve a lot. And now we're going to do another test, another example. Yeah, what we're going to do is that for 30 seconds, we're going to blink every second. I'm going to show the rhythm with snapping my fingers and blink every time I snap them. It will be about every second. So let's do it and let's notice the difference. Okay. Okay. So how do the eyes feel now? If you're like this, if you're like me, after blinking, your eyes feel moist, they feel relaxed, and you actually see better. If you're noticing that, well, share what you're noticing when the eyes are blinking. And as I see the answers come, so for example, here's someone saying that they feel their eyes relaxed. I'm going to tell about different reasons why blinking is so useful. Okay, more relaxed. Okay, they feel gummy. Okay, so what happens when we blink? Many important things happen. First, every time we blink, the glands that segregate the tears, so that create moist in the eyes, are stimulated. When we blink, we create more tears, so the eyes are humid, they're moist. Okay, eyes feel more relaxed, muscles around the eyes feel more relaxed. Okay, we segregate more tears. The tear is spread in the cornea, so it cleanses, it cleans the eyes from dust or whatever. It keeps the eyes nourished. Also, when we blink and we spread the tear over the cornea, because of the superficial tension of liquids, it makes the cornea more smooth, more round. If there's any irregularity in the cornea, it makes it really smooth. So our focus improves. Also, every time we blink, there's a moment of darkness. So we also segregate these enzymes that allow us to see in colors. And also every time we blink, the muscles in the eyes can relax. They can work, they relax. They work, they relax. It's like a runner. That instant that that he's in the air, the muscles relax before the next the next pace in the running. So blinking has many, many advantages. And we need to make sure that we blink at least every couple seconds in our daily life. So if we were able to be like 15 seconds without blinking, we're not blinking enough. It would be good to blink at least every 2 seconds. Now I was doing it about every second. It's not necessary to do it every second, but every couple of seconds. It's really very good for your eyesight. And the problem is that when we wear glasses, because we kind of feel protected by the glass, we blink less. That's one of the reasons also why the glasses are not so good for our eyesight. And also when we look at screens or at the television, we tend to be hypnotized and we forget to blink. I remember my niece and nephew, when they were kids, I had to put hands in front of them because they would be watching the cartoons like this and would forget to blink. So it's important to remember to blink. Some musicians have these things that pace the rhythm. What are their names? The metronomes. So maybe we can, if we have one, we can put a metronome and practice with a metronome, blinking every 2 seconds. So practice it, pay attention at that, and you'll notice a difference in the moment, and especially over time. Yeah. So you're noticing it now, but you'll notice it even more, especially for those that don't notice much difference. You'll notice a lot more as you do it more over time. So Diana, you say, now you say this, I realize I don't blink nearly enough. Exactly. You need to get used to blinking more. That'll help a lot for your eyesight. So we talked about the palming, breathing, looking far away, blinking. We also mentioned at the end of the palming, stretching. Very important. When we stretch, and whenever we feel like our body needs stretching, or maybe a little bit every day, or at least a little bit every week, stretching is very good for our eyesight. Because when our whole body is relaxed and stretched, it creates space for our eyes to be relaxed and also to do their own stretching. All the muscles in the body are connected through the fascias. So we need our whole body to be relaxed so that our eyes can also be relaxed and keep a relaxation. We also did yawning at the end of the palming, and yawning itself is very good for our eyesight. Every time we yawn, our eyes become moist, and we want to have moist eyes to see better. And every time we yawn, we get a lot of oxygen inside. That's why we yawn, because we need more oxygen. And I know that in some families, cultures, societies, yawning is considered rude. So in that case, yawn when you're not with other people, or explain at home to your family how useful yawning is. And if you're in public, well, maybe you can put a hand in front of your mouth, but it'd be better to yawn, nevertheless, than not to do it. Okay, and if there's a moment where really it's better not to, well, that one moment, don't yawn. But the rest of the time, allow yourself free yawning and make the yawning contagious, because it's going to help other people also relax and have more oxygen and have more moist eyes. So yawning is very, very good. Now, you may not know, so we said the palming and then breathing, looking far away, blinking, yawning, stretching. There go 5. Let's talk about a few more. You also want to express your emotions. The eyes have 2 functions. They allow us to see, this is obvious, and they're also the windows of the soul, the windows to the soul. The other function of eyes is expressing our emotions. You can tell if a person is sad or happy by looking at their eyes beyond whatever their mouth is doing. Sometimes you see a person smiling with their mouth, but their eyes are not, are not smiling. So you notice, right? So actually, when we laugh and when we cry, our eyes function better. So if you feel like laughing, and this is something you want probably to get more of in your daily life, laughing is extremely good for our face and for our eyesight. And crying too, because we want to allow ourselves to liberate the emotion. If we hold the crying, we create tension in the eyes. So if you feel like crying, if you're sad, okay, depending on your family, your culture, your society, maybe you want to do it with people, or maybe that's not well seen and you'd rather do it alone. But again, it's better not to hold the tears, but to allow yourself to cry. That's going to help for your eyesight. And then there's also sleeping in the dark, very important. So that's tip number 8, beyond the palming. And focusing on the positive improvements that you're noticing in your eyesight. For the optic nerve, it was believed that neurons didn't have the capacity to regenerate once we went beyond childhood. And nowadays, neurosciences know a lot more about how the brain works and how neuron works. And there's there's amazing books, but an amazing talk also by a neuroscientist. It's one of the most famous TED Talks. You may have heard about it. And I always forget her name. It's Jill Bolte Taylor. Jill Bolte Taylor. So if you look for it, you'll see this lady had an experience of a brain stroke, and like she lost half of a hemisphere. She lost a hemisphere in the brain, and it took her a long time to regain all her capacities. But I think it was like 7 years, but she could, because she had the right stimulation. So if somebody who lost half of her brain was able to re-stimulate and make it functional again, and she explains it because she is the neuroscientist. She was before she had this accident, and she is still nowadays. So now we know that there is neuroplasticity and neuroregeneration. So once that you remove the excess of pressure in your eye, you could stimulate your optic nerve to see again. And so the neurons in the retina and the optic nerve to function again. And we have people, participants of the ClearSight method, that have shown from their ophthalmologist that their campimetry, so the measure of the back of the eye and the retina, how much the retina sees, is improving. So it is possible. Now, it's going to take more work, and I would say that in this case, Michelle, the course for you would be the ClearSight method.
I started a course last year, April, and at that time, when I started and I looked at my tablet and Dr. Anoa was on it, I couldn't even see her face. When I went to the eye doctor and they had me read the chart, I couldn't see the E on the chart. That was a year ago, August. Last year, September, when I went back, I was able to read the chart at 2080 from the eye that I couldn't see, and at 2050 from the other eye. Today, I sit on my porch. I have huge posters erected in my yard of eye charts, and I am reading those charts from 65 and 85 feet away. So I say this to you. If you don't want to see better, you're in the wrong place, because the ClearSight method works. I am living proof, and I am willing to tell anyone that. I had a background of glaucoma, astigmatism. I have had cataract surgery, retina detection. So when you're asking the various questions, I am a good example of the improvement that can be made and what you can accomplish.
Then I developed glaucoma, which became severe, and I also required surgery. So I was told that without it, the outcome could potentially be blindness. But if I did decide to undergo the procedure, It could also result in me going blind. Later, I found out about the ClearSight method free course. I started to see colors much brighter with a higher contrast sensitivity. Not only my vision has improved, so now that I'm able to recognize faces, watch TV, and read without glasses. But also, my life has improved. I feel much safer and happier. Previously, I didn't have the courage to go out by myself. Now, I'm able to cross the street, blowing the minds of my family and friends.